So out in Burlington, much different scene than we had yesterday. Over there, Veterans Terrace, is where I did this live video from yesterday. Today is sort of the aftermath of the rainstorm. This is the White River. As you can see, it's still flooding. It's flooding over the bank, I suppose, where this restaurant is. It's going through the little guardrail and just flooding the sidewalk here, and it'll probably be in this parking lot here pretty soon. But apparently the Fox River has crested, according to a press release from the county executive's office. So potentially the worst has already gone past. There are neighborhoods right now throughout the city where there are houses that are not submerged, but in the water, and you can't access them because there's just there's feet of water in the street and up to people's porches. Over here, Milwaukee and Pine, the governor, Scott Walker, will be here in about 20 minutes. You can see news media sort of starting to line up. He's going to be touring some of the flooding. Otherwise, I'm not sure totally about the power situation, but nothing's open in Burlington today. All businesses are dark that I've walked past. Some divers over there were monitoring the situation. They're the Racine County Sheriff's dive team. And yeah, you can't access large portions of the city because the National Guard are blocking off a lot of the entrances, and so it's very difficult to navigate around the city. Basically, if you want to get around, you have to take the Burlington bypass and then drop down into the city from Pine Street. Walker is going to be there at 12:15. And I'm not exactly sure what the agenda is. Hoping it may involve accessing places that you can't currently access unless you have an emergency. And yeah, I don't know. All the way on that bridge, in the distance there's a National Guardsman. Those guys are stationed. There's another one over here, and there's another one over there, and they're stationed throughout the city, blocking off the main areas of flooding affected by the White and the Fox Rivers overflowing, essentially. You can see those trees in the distance are pretty sunk. Kind of wish I could get a view of Echo Park, but that's pretty closed off. Can't go to Veterans Terrace like you could yesterday because of the state of emergency. As far as power goes, I saw a press release that said We Energies is hoping to restore Burlington's power by tomorrow afternoon, and Waterford's by I think it was this afternoon. I don't think Waterford's flooding was as bad. Yeah, this is clearly the epicenter of the flooding. Some more divers over there. Anyway, that is it for now. I'll probably go live once Scott Walker gets here, just to see if he makes a statement. If he makes a statement, for sure. But until then, yeah, it's a weird day in Burlington. People are just sort of out roaming the streets, and no businesses are open, and there's just water everywhere. But it has crested apparently, and the situation is likely to improve over the next few hours. Oh, and here comes the mayor and the fire chief out here in the distance, and Scott Walker. Okay, well, I'll stay live then, actually, because if you see in the distance that group moving forward there, it's includes Police Chief Mark Anderson, City Administrator Karina Walters, County Executive Jonathan Delagrave, the Mayor Jeannie Hefty's with them, and in the red polo there is the Governor. And yeah, I'm going to head back over towards the main media area here so I can run into them, but almost just slipped on this mud. Kind of crazy. Just all from the flooding. It's just like a cake of mud on the parking lot. That's pretty disgusting.
There's a lot of flooding down there.
And if you can't see, that's the governor approaching with county exec Van Wangard as well.
My discretion. That's the nice thing I can make a guard for the story around.
Yep.
I'll start out, I'll say a few comments. Certainly free to ask me or others if they wish questions. We've obviously got state, county, and city officials here. From the state, in addition to city lawmakers, Speaker Robert Moss, Jason Van Wangard, Senator Turkman. I've also got with me General Don Dunbar, General Don Dunbar, the Adjutant General of Wisconsin National Guard, and Brian Sekula, who is here as Wisconsin Emergency Management. We also have, not only leaders here, but across this region, we've had folks engaged from Wisconsin State Patrol, Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, obviously Wisconsin Emergency Management. I called out the Guard last night, so that's why you see members of the National Guard here. They are here for my call, but have the discretion of the mayor, the police chief, the fire chief, and others here locally in terms of where they need them. So right now they're obviously assisting in making sure that the bridges are safe and that people are safe in getting onto the bridges because with the water levels such as they are. Particularly I appreciate it. Thank the folks from the teams on either side and around the back side of the Veterans Memorial facility for being here as a precaution. I particularly thank the fire chief who talked about this, making sure they were here. Incredibly prudent on their part, because as you can see with the water flow here, if you had a breach of the dam or somewhere to go in, putting in a 911 call would be that much. We appreciate you and the fire department making sure these rescue teams were here. We hope to keep them dry all day and aboard because people stay away, and it's real easy to want to look at something as amazing as this. But safety, certainly from our standpoint, I heard it very clearly from the mayor, the police chief, the fire chief, the other officials here. Safety is the #1 priority. It will continue today as long as we see water levels as high As I was told, I think local officials had mentioned this before, you said back the previous high was about 13 and a half feet. In that vicinity, we're at over 16 feet now. Thankfully, General Dunbar issued to me this morning, the National Weather Service said we hit our peak at the level for now, assuming there's not more precipitation in the forecast. But I think there's still locally and for us tremendous concern about the integrity of the dam. And it's something we'll be watching. Some of the crews took a look at it and gave us just now on more recent updates that appears to be a better outlook than we thought early this morning. But we've got inspectors from the Department of Natural Resources who are here to assist in monitoring the dam, both now from a safety standpoint and once the water's received, to make sure that the dam permanently is secure. Certainly the National Guard not going to assist here, but working with local officials, a number of the facilities, particularly those where the predominantly senior citizens living in those facilities, where power is out in particular, to make sure they're going through and assisting and checking door to door, unit to unit, to making sure that those seniors are well cared for. Any citizen, but particularly senior citizen, that keeping them cool and hydrated. Those are all important things. And I just want to particularly emphasize my thanks from the state standpoint. I think all the people here in Burlington, across Racine County, as well as Kenosha, and Walworth County, particularly here in this community, having seen now a number of sites and some business affected, being in the fire departments and the police department, the incredible response of the fire department, of law enforcement, and the first responders here. Something of this magnitude is not only an all-time high for Burlington, it's one of the most aggressive flooding efforts we've seen, I think, in the states of time. And to think that we don't have a serious increase in not fatality is certainly remarkable. I think it's a testament to the first responders in this community stepping up. The other thing I want to say is what we found is that every site we visited so far from this morning all the way through now, whether it was a building owner, property owners, homeowners, community leaders, we kept hearing over and over again was how many people have offered to volunteer, how people are coming from throughout the region to help out. To see the response from first responders, to see the outpouring of support from volunteers and people looking to help out, certainly I think is one of the things that makes me proudest to be your governor, is to see that kind of response. It's thankful that consistently see at sites like this across the state. And so right now, our number one concern is safety. We'll continue to provide state support assets to do that. As the days go on, and particularly as the water goes down, we'll be looking at ways to assist Burlington, in particular with the county and the other two surrounding counties. I've issued a state of emergency for the state for Racine, Kenosha, and Walworth counties in light of the flooding and the rain levels. In terms of a federal declaration, that is a rather elaborate process. Certainly I would encourage property owners, be they homeowners or small business owners or others, first make sure that they're safe. Secondly, make sure they contact their insurance agent as quickly as possible, but the sooner they get on it for those who cover, the better. And then third, document any of the damage, because it is a high threshold, and for this region to have a chance to do it, it's an objective standard. It doesn't matter who the president is, doesn't matter who's in office. I want to make it clear. I talked yesterday afternoon repeatedly to Speaker Ryan, who's going to be here, I believe, later to survey the damage as well. He's very supportive of the efforts here locally, but that threshold does not have any political influence on it. It's one where it's purely about documentation. But our number one priority right now for today and for the foreseeable future is ultimately about safety. So take questions from the area.
With the water level starting to go down, and you mentioned the dam, but do you have any concerns about structural integrity of any other infrastructure like bridges?
That's why we've got folks, both the Department of Natural Resources, that experts in terms of the dam, Department of Transportation will be working with you've got the Department of Public Works here who's done a tremendous job, certainly keeping people off. The main reason I understand from the local standpoint off the dam is off the bridges is from a safety standpoint. If the dam goes out and gets such a rush, not only in terms of the structural integrity, but we don't want anybody near it. You guys over here that went through a tank We're doing a tremendous job of preparation. I don't want to see them have to do anything today or tomorrow. We will continue. And so it's really more than anything about safety. But certainly here, it's also why we'll be working with the city and county and local officials as water recedes. One of the cautions the fire chief mentioned this morning was as water goes down, people eager to get water out of their business or out of their basement of their home. They need to be careful in doing that. Ideally talk to folks, professionals here. It's better to ask more questions because you don't want to have a rush of taking it out. We've seen that years ago in Milwaukee when I was the county executive. I saw up at Shorewood and Springdale where the walls collapsed because of the way the water was in the basement, the manner in which they took it out while there was still water standing. And so it's important to do that at a time when the water's receding. But I think structurally, the number one reason why these bridges are blocked is purely because of safety.
Damage to homes, businesses, is there just kind of how much damage is done?
I think so early on from what I saw in our update at the fire department with all the local officials on tours, is that right now it's really a combination of safety and it's a matter of one area I did mention is New Energy stepping up. One of the businesses we saw them working to try and get them back and running again this afternoon. Obviously on this part, particularly this side of the city, because a number of the assets that the community has been underwater, the difficulties from a safety standpoint to get them back up and going again. It's going to take some time to get the water recedes. But New Energy, I understand, has been incredibly helpful both with local officials, business, homeowners, but it's going to take some time until things are up. I think one of the things the city mentioned we're going to help out with is making sure that for those facilities, large-scale apartment-type facilities and other complexes that have a large volume of senior citizens in particular, which that is first and foremost be the person-to-person contact to make sure they're safe. In those areas of priority to make sure that you get generated and temporary to power up. Those certainly would be a priority to make sure that seniors, particularly if they need a community, understand that we don't have illness or other health-related issues.
New Energy says that it may not have power backup for the 5,000 or so people until tomorrow afternoon. Probably be another hot day. The sun comes out today. What is your message to them if they are frustrated by that people?
Well, the key is it's about safety. So the last thing you want to do is have a rush to get power up and put people in harm's way. So far, for something this big, it's remarkable that not only is there not a fatality, but that there hasn't been serious injury. The last thing we want to do to have, so I'm speaking for myself, but as all the local and state officials here, the number one thing in a situation like this is keep people safe. So I know in years past, in Wauwatosa, when our home was dealing with flooding and power was out, as frustrating as it is, I can empathize with that. I've had water in my own basement before. I've had to pump it out. I've had to deal with that before. That's a problem. But I can replace the rug of the carpet I had in my basement. I can clean things up. I can do all those things. I can't bring somebody back from the dead. And I think that's the most important thing, is to keep people safe. So it's not because they're not interested. It's not because they don't have assets. It's ultimately because where the assets they have put people back in line, because many of them were underwater. They've got to be certain to make sure they're in a place that's safe and sound. What our priority is to get talking with both chiefs, mayor, and administrator and others is for those facilities that have a large number of seniors, is just making sure there's an alternative in terms of generator or other capacity. We just want to make sure that that's a top priority, because seniors are more apt to struggle because of
what does the state of emergency mean again? Does it mean really all that much?
Well, two things. One, it sets the table for being able to request a federal. We can't do it without a state emergency, but really that's the whole threshold. Brian Sakula and his team, he's got a team here for Wisconsin Emergency Management. They're going to work with the county. The county has emergency management and work on assessing it. And it can come in both in terms of from homes to public assets, like documentation support. But the other part is, by doing that, I called out the National Guard. That probably timing-wise is the most important thing right now, is just having the Guard on site, having a number of units that are out assisting and helping in terms of, you've got people, like a lot of the local officials here, who've been up almost non-stop over the last 2 days. And so So we need to make sure that for first responders, for fire service, for law enforcement, that they've got support backup and that's the best thing to go to do right now, in addition to assisting going to it.
How many members are out here, and what will their role be today and next time?
Sure. General Dunbar, you want to talk a little bit about the guard? Major General Ben Dunbar, the Adjutant General of the Wisconsin National Guard.
Good afternoon. The National Guard right now, we have 85 soldiers so that we do a series of missions for different police and the fire chief. Right now we're doing checkpoints across the bridges to keep people safe and out the bridges, which frees up law enforcement to do more important things in the time. And we're also working to be out about 7 minutes doing morale checks for some of the buildings that are power taken out. Knocking on the door and make sure the people in those apartments and the condominiums are okay. We put the body in the water and they should be able to go back to their people and take care of them. We're prepared with some manpower should we be additional staff down or something like that going forward. And we also have some pilot water vehicles here in case something is people. And then of course just not over the revolution. But again, I want to stress we're here to help the community. The government gives the Guard, we bring the National Guard on state active duty, and we're here working for the fire chief and keeping this.
Are all members in Burlington or some in other places as well?
Well, everybody's assigned to this mission. We're doing rest cycles, so not everybody's on at the same time, so we keep a 24-hour presence.
Sorry, you said 85 people.
85 children. Thank you.
And the call for that, again, it's one of those where, as we do in other emergency situations, Wisconsin Emergency Management reached out. Initially, I neglected to mention different agencies. So we've got, the ones I mentioned, Natural Resources, certainly Wisconsin Emergency Management, Wisconsin National Guard, also the Department of Health Services have been notified because of the assistance that might be needed from the Department of Transportation. But we also had early on, through the Department of Corrections, there's a strike force that comes out. Defenders come out on supervision to help fill out sand day, which obviously is an important component we saw a number of the sites. Although in some cases, as we saw at the police station in City Hall, that was just, even with the sand day, just surmountable. But all those physical assets are out. I want to thank, in particular, everybody's here, but Speaker Voss last night contacted me with the mayor, and happened to be at one of the gas stations talking about this, and the mayor said that we could use some more bodies. So Robert brought that to my attention. Immediately got on the phone with General Dunbar, and that's why we called them up immediately. They're at our call, so they'll be here as long as the chief of police and fire chief can say that they need us. We'll continue to have them here, both for safety and then follow up this meeting. They could be of assistance or something like that.
Is that dam safe? There's a lot of water coming over.
Well, right now, again, that's part of the reason why we've got a couple folks from the Department of Natural Resources who've been addressing that. And one of the suggestions I made this morning was to, in addition to physically being out there, is bringing some droids out, some drones out, to be able to physically look out where they can't go out. But one of the rescue teams was just out, maybe the last 45 minutes. Yeah, because they're secure and able to do that checking, particularly on the ends over by the Veterans Plaza, physically checking the ground base around that, and they said it was still stable for what they were doing to use. So that's important, but obviously we're going to continue to monitor it. There's a whole lot of water. And then after it goes down, part of the reason why the dam experts will stay around is it's not just about being secure now, it's making sure it's structurally sound far into the future.
We got time for one more.
Governor, sorry, I might have missed this at the beginning, but for us, there's a threshold that's set for any emergency. Wisconsin Emergency Management will work with the county, not just the city of Burlington, but Racine County and the other two counties that declared emergency at Waller County and Mercer County. But it is an objective criteria. You have to hit certain threshold. It's a fairly high bar. So I would point out it not just here, but many others. It is not a frequent occurrence. It doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter. As much as I've talked to Speaker Ryan multiple times about this last night, we're going to be here later. It doesn't matter whether the congressman is the speaker or the first-term member. It doesn't matter which party. It doesn't matter who the president is. In the past, I've worked with President Obama's administration. I've worked with President Trump's administration on this. It is a very objective threshold. So people should first and foremost be concerned about safety continuing today. As people call, particularly for their homes or their businesses, as they call, as they look at their checklist after they're safe and secure, they should call their insurance agent. Because even under a federal declaration, for those that have insurance, that's the first draw. And then subsequently document any damage that is done, because all that information, you're going to get a federal declaration, has to be passed on to local county officials. But we will, if we hit the threshold, we'll do that. We did that last summer. There was major flooding in northern Wisconsin and Iron, and Ashland, and Bayfield, and Sawyer counties. That did receive a federal declaration. But part of the key ways we had such a high volume of public disaster that it hit the threshold. Whether or not this does, I'm not going to speculate, but I don't know from what I've seen as to what that threshold will be and what the value is. But our priority here today is safety, and obviously we'll work with local and county officials at the state level to get more help.
Thanks, everybody. I need to ask a budget question. There was a tremendous amount of